Hello, and welcome back to Cars of Glasgow. Today you join me back at Citroen Armadale with this 2023 Nissan X-Trail e-Power e-Force, and that's Force with a 4. This is the highest power output available for the Nissan X-Trail with 213 brake horsepower. Now this car also produces 330 newton meters of torque, getting to 62 miles per hour in about 7 seconds. You're going to see about 44 miles to a gallon claimed, and prices start just around £35,000 for the base mild hybrid model. This particular one is actually up for sale today for just under £30,000. So stay tuned for the rest of this video. So under the bonnet on this Nissan X-Trail e-Power, we have a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine. Now here in the UK, this is the only power plant that we have available to us. Still hybrid, but one of the ones you don't plug in, so we call it a self-charging hybrid to use marketing terminology. What differs this versus, say, something, for example, like a Toyota RAV4? This power plant does not power the wheels. Instead, that power goes through the electric battery and the motors, and this acts as a generator in theory. So what you're driving around here, the power from this engine is going to be getting shifted to that electric motor to drive the wheels. Now, the R front wheel drive is standard. However, this being the e-Force model, we do have four-wheel drive, which means there is an additional motor in the rear of the car. So up front, you're going to notice the latest design language with the slim headlights, and then we've got the split headlight design that we've seen on things like the Nissan Juke. Now, it's worth noting this car actually has functional real vents. Now, if I was Matt Watson, I'd have the stick for the stick of truth, because they are real functional vents. In the centre here, we have a nice large Nissan badge. Now, this houses the radar cruise control, which is nice to see they've integrated that into the grille. We also have the 360-degree front camera just under the badge here. Now, Nissan have added like this grey accent down below and along the side of the car to give it that off-road four-wheel drive vibe, but realistically this car is just going to be something you're maybe going to take up a country path. Now let's walk around and check out the side of the car. So as we make our way to the side of the car, we can see things like the grey cladding to give it that SUV stance. We are riding on 18-inch alloy wheels today, and these wheels are multi-spoke diamond cut. Now, we do have an e-Power badge on the side with a blue E to signify we're driving the hybrid, and then we've got some more black cladding along the side of the doors. Now, interestingly, we do have the 360 camera into the housing for the mirror, as well as little ridges on the door handle to indicate the keyless entry. So on the A-pillar, we do have black gloss plastic to give it that floating roof appearance from the front. We do have silver roof rails, and then we've got the chrome strip starting from the A-pillar, working our way to the C-pillar, kind of again accentuating that floating roof design. So on the C-pillar of the X-Trail, it's been designed to look like a dolphin tail. Now you tell me if you think it looks like a dolphin tail or even a dolphin tail swimming backwards. This is the kind of area that we're seeing here. Now let's work our way round to the rear of the car. On the rear of this car, there's no missing what you are driving. Here we have Nissan X-Trail spread out, and then we've got e-Power, e-Force with that 4 for force, because they're Nissan. So go ahead and open the boot, lift this up like so, and we have a decent size boot here. Now we do have some storage underneath, a squared off shape. You can get this in a 7-seat configuration as well. This particular model today is a 5-seat. Now I do like the fact the parcel shelf is pretty flexible, which means you can fold it up and chuck it in your garage if you don't need it. But yeah, pull that away, you've got a nice squared off area, going to be ideal for things like your prams, your shopping, whatever it may be. And it is lined with carpet in the bottom, and then you've got the plastic up above, so you've got a nice blend of both if you've maybe got a dog, something like that. But overall, not too much to say back here. There's no lights, there's no little hooks or anything visible, but yeah, a little bit of storage at the side and these tie-down hooks at the bottom corners there. So you join me in the back of the Nissan X-Trail. Now, first off the bat, I do like this kind of tweedy effect material in the centre of the seats, and that continues on the door cards as well. There is this brown plastic on top of the doors as well. It's not the nicest material, however, you can get that in other colours. It's just this particular car is trimmed in this level. And then we also have some nice stitching on the door card with electric windows, decent size door bins, and again, it's nice to see passenger and the passenger behind the driver both have little bits of storage for maps and things like that, and it is lined with fuzzy stuff, so nothing's going to scratch up. Rear passengers are also treated to air vents and USB-A and USB-C chargers. We do have two cup holders in the middle, which, as you can see, nothing too special about them, but yeah, at least you've got cup holders, and the seats do fold 60/40, as well as child seat anchors there just behind these little plastic bits of trim here. Now, there's not too much else to say in this particular one. Load floor is quite flat. I'm 5'11". I'll just jump in for a second. I perch myself, not too bad. I've got plenty of headroom, shoulder room, so maybe if you're carrying teenagers, things like that, it's going to be fine. But yeah, for two adults, more than enough room, leg room, headroom, plenty of space. Now let's take a look at the front of the car. So up front, you join me inside the X-Trail. We do have this black vinyl trim with the white stitching going across the centre dashboard. Now this is all soft and squidgy. Again, we've got that brown trim up here. A little bit harder plastic, but yeah, that is showing you a little bit of colour difference there. And then we do have this silver trim just below, and this other kind of grey trim in the middle here. So there's a lot of colours and textures going on in front of the passenger. Now, we do have a nice central touchscreen here. So this car makes a lot of interesting bing bong sounds depending on what you're doing. So as soon as you start the car up, you're getting a little tune, and that is also echoed on what you hear on the outside. Nissan Intelligent Mobility is coming to life, and it does its little thing. It is a touchscreen, it's fast and responsive, and I like the fact that on the sides of this touchscreen here we have shortcuts for like your home, your sat nav, radio, phone, things like that. It is pretty fast and responsive, as I mentioned, and yeah, pretty much all you would need from here. It does have things like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and like we've seen with other car manufacturers, we have these widgets you're able to add and customize the screen in here. We do have some hard shortcut keys for things like dimming and adjusting the brightness, physical buttons available for the volume knob, and then we've got a camera button here as well, which actually spells out camera, and you can see together there's your 360 camera. Relatively decent picture quality, not the crispest, but it does all right. Now, what I quite like in the centre stack here is we do have physical buttons for your climate control. So if I rotate these knobs slightly, you're able to see the screen lights up, and you can change the direction of airflow at a touch of a button physically, which is nice, same as your fan speed buttons. You do have physical buttons and rotating knobs, change your temperature, dual zone climate control, aircon, and touch that button to turn it off. Just like the rear, we do have USB-C and USB-A chargers with a 12-volt power outlet. Now, we do have a little bit of storage here for a phone. It is lit up. I think in higher models that could be your wireless phone charger. And again, being a hybrid, we do have an EV mode and an e-pedal mode, touched by those little buttons here indicated here. Now, this little selector is interesting. I've not seen anything like it before. All the way down for drive, and you slide it forward for reverse, and that brings up the camera. And again, we've got two noises going on here, and a separate D10s-P for park. It's nice to see not black gloss plastic here in the centre. It's kind of got these lines in it. It's kind of almost Lexus-esque with the way it's been designed. Quite an interesting material. We do have an electronic parking brake with auto hold. And then down here we do have hill descent control as various modes such as snow, off-road. And then all the way to the right we do have eco and then a sports mode for those aggressive X-Trail drivers. Now, we do also have a decent sized centre cubby here. It is split folding, so you can have one down and one up, or leave both open. It isn't lined with anything, so it is quite scratchy in here, but it is split level, so you can maybe put coins in one bit and maybe a small handbag or something in there. So it wouldn't be a Cars of Glasgow video without a glove box reveal. It's pretty small for the size of the car, but we do have enough room for your logbook, and it's not lined with fuzzy stuff, but yeah, at least you've got a little bit of storage in there. So in front of the driver, we do have a fully digital instrument display. This is customizable, so using the arrows on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, we can cycle through various menus. As you can see, there's some popping up on screen. It's just quite nice to have some configurability, and there's a real life example of 32.4 miles to a gallon we're seeing in this car. Now, just like hybrids, I quite like seeing this energy flow depending on your driving to see where the power's going. So that is one of the benefits of a fully digital instrument display, is the customization that is available to you. So on the left hand side we do have volume knob for the radio, skip track, etc. radio. This is your buttons here for that centre screen. That button there allows you to change things on the shortcut menu. It is nice to have physical buttons that D10s and press. On the right hand side we have voice activation for your phone, radar, cruise and cruise control. And again we have your wipers on the right and then indicators on the left, like so. Now this car doesn't have a heads-up display, so for view from the driver we do sit up quite high and we do have quite a thin A-pillar, which is quite nice to see, and we do have the blind spot monitoring in the mirror on the side there. But overall quite a good view out, and people who are buying a car like this do like the driving position this kind of SUV offers. Up above the driver we do have a little docket here, lined with felt for things like your sunglasses, and then your physical buttons for your lights, like so. In the centre console we also have a split level, and down here it is texturised and it even says Nissan established 1933, so this provides a little bit extra storage for some items. So on the right hand side we do have one button available to us for the assist features. However, there is a few blank buttons which I presume will be things for your heads up display, electronic tailgate, etc. Now we do have a little bit in here, maybe for like a card or something, a little bit of storage, which is quite handy. But what I want to show you is the door card. Now it does have that tweed material going onto the side of the card. That does have the white stitching, just like we've seen in the rear. We do have all-round electric windows with the child lock at the bottom there, electrically adjusted mirrors, and then door locks and unlock are at the top of this unit. And we do have a decent size door bin, big enough for a bottle of juice and maybe some other wee items in there. Door quality material, pretty alright, something you'd expect for a Nissan. So the driver's seat does have manual adjustment as well as electric lumbar support. It is lined in this kind of fabric with the white stitching. They're fairly comfortable, not as comfortable as what I experienced in the Citroen, but they do a decent job. As you step out the vehicle, the door wraps around the sill, which means the back of your trousers are not going to get dirty. It's quite a nice feature just to mention when I come across cars that offer that. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video on the Nissan X-Trail e-Power e-Force. Special thanks to Citroen Armadale for loaning me today's car. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to Cars of Glasgow below, check out my other videos, and I'll see you next video. Ciao.